Well, g'day everyone. I wanted to talk to you today about the Godox AD100 Pro. I've used it now in a couple of shoots and wanted to give you my thoughts. Like I've said before, there is an unboxing video that I've gone through and I've showed you all the bits and pieces that this came with. And I'll also talk there about how I use ProPhoto normally. But I wanted to sort of talk about how this went in the couple of shoots that I did. So what I thought we'd do first is we'd have a look at how you operate these lights. So we'll look at the menu and about the whole unit itself. So let's look at that now. Okay, so let's have a look at the unit itself. You can see they're lovely and small if you compare it to my hand, so they're great. There is two little holes on the bottom down here, so if you wanted to screw an attachment like this in that does come with it, you can. And you could also put this onto light stands and things like that as well, which is really nice as well. And if you have another attachment, you can put it on top of your camera. It's small enough to be able to do that. On the other side here, this is just your, well, basically it's just a light sensor that will you can use if you want to have it as a slave flash and things like that. This is your battery removing button. You can just click there and the battery will fly out. Inside here you just have a USB-C underneath there, and on the other side here you've got your sync cable, so that's where that will attach. If you look there, that's that, and then you've got your USB-C inside that as well. It just gives it a bit of protection having this around there as well. There's not much else really on the outside of this at all, so what we'll do now is we'll have a look at the front. If you look here, you can see there's a little LED light here, and then obviously you have your lens and everything and flash inside here. So on the back, we've got your mode, your menu, and also how to turn the LED light on through here as well. This wheel you use to go through your menus and also turn the flash on. I'll show that in a minute. You've got your channels, etc. up here, your zoom, and also to test fire your flash, and then the power button. So to turn this on, all you do is press the power button, and then it just tells you to scroll the wheel. So you just scroll this wheel and then it will turn on as you see here. Now there's multiple settings that this has. At the moment it's on TTL, so it will basically do everything for you, including your exposure and shutter speed and aperture. If you click onto the mode, you can also go to manual, and then to change these amounts down here, you just use the scroll wheel. Now it'll go all the way from 1 down to 1/256th of a second. So you've got an awful lot of control there over power as well. So with the next one, multi, here you can set off a number of exposures here or flashes. This could be really good with a dancer jumping across a black background or something like that, and the camera would stay open and the flash would fire off, so you'd see the dancer move across the frame in a single shot. So the hertz is actually the number of flashes per second. So the menu button is where you do all the settings for this flash. Now you can have the beep on or off, so it will sort of beep when the battery is recharged or ready to fire again. The next one down is this Photo C. Now that's where you can set up your slaves. So if you put it on S1, it will fire whenever another light flashes. So you can put it in the background, a hair light or something like that. If you go to S2 in here, what this will do is it ignores a pre-flash. A lot of these flashes have pre-flash to get exposure. Well, this will ignore that pre-flash and then just fire on the actual flash that happens. The next one down is if you wanted to change your standby down there as well. Delay is if you'd like to use like a second curtain sync, so you can have a delay on when the flash will fire. The next one down is wireless, whether you'd like to have that wireless on or on. And then this is where you can change the ID as well. So the settings are very, very easy to use and control. So the buttons here, this is where you change your groups. So we'll go from A, B, C, D, and E, and you obviously match this on your transmitter. And then the other one inside there is you can change your channels as well. So if someone was on the same channel and the same group, you could change them so you don't get misfiring and things like that. This here is your zoom. So if I click on that, it will go from 28 to 35 to 50 to 70, and then 85, and then back to 28 mil. This is how you test fire your flash. And then this here is your off and on button. So what we can look at now is how the circle affects the light fall off, and I'll show you that against the wall so you can see that this does give a nice sort of round shape to the fall off, whereas your square ones would be much square or oblong in shape. So we'll look at that now. So what I wanted to do here is to show how the light can be concentrated by changing the zoom. So this is set at 28. The next one that you're going to look at is 35, and then we're going to move down to 50, and then it's 70, and then 85. So you can see here that the light is way more concentrated, so this is a way that you really can focus the light that's there, and that's a great feature to have. So what we'll look at now is we'll look at it in real use in a couple shoot that I did, and also my grandchildren that I did over Easter. And what I'll do is I'll talk you through the shots as I post them. So this was where I wanted to get my base exposure. So I go for the ambient here, the flash is turned off, and you can see the results that their face is a little bit underexposed. And then what I did was I turned the flash on and got the correct exposure. So you can see here the difference if you look at the face, how that's lit up, as well as maintaining the background exposure, which is really important. And again, because I'm shooting in manual, all Kerry has to do is holding the flash is to walk with me and keep that distance all the time. And this worked really, really well with the bare bulb. The next things you're looking at are my two grandchildren. Again, this was lit quite brightly from the background, so I needed to use the flash to enable that to light up their faces, and I really love the results that I'm getting here. So let's look at the continuous light output of this unit, and I'll discuss whether I think it's actually usable. So I thought I'd show you here the LED light being turned on. So I'm at 1/100th of a second, f2.8 and ISO 200. I'm just going to turn it on now. Now this is on its lowest power that you're sort of seeing here. So what I'm going to do now is just build this up. Now I'm 2 meters away from the subject, but this is a bare bulb that we're dealing with here. So if I hold this in, I'm just going to start turning this up. So now we're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's not bad if you think that this is without a bulb, but clearly if you were putting this inside a softbox, it probably wouldn't be enough that you could get a decent exposure out of it. I think you'd have to get very, very close to the subject. We're in very, very low light here as well, but it's okay, and you could also use it to get focus as well, which is quite good. The other thing I noticed as well was that the fan does come on. I'm not sure if you can hear it now. So I've only had the actual light on for a few, well, only probably a couple of minutes, and it's already come on, particularly if you put the power up high. So let me know what you think about this. I really like it. I mean, it's a nice little device that you can hold in your hands, very, very small. I do have to get some diffusers that I can put on this, some soft boxes and things to try it out. And that will obviously affect the light output, so that'll have to be done on a future video. I was using it all bare head because I haven't got anything to put over it. But apart from that, if you wanted to use it run and gun, and I do like a hard type light, so that's where it sort of fits the way that I shoot. I use my Pro Photo lights often without diffusers or magnum reflectors on them that increase the power, in fact, because that's the sort of fashion look that I like. Apart from that, everyone, I'll see you in the next video. I will leave the links where you can get this down below. I did purchase this with my own money, but so the only affiliate part is if you purchase this through Amazon. Apart from that, everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.